Hey, Auntie, good morning. Thank you for coming to visit me. How are you?
I'm fine, and I
Thank
thank
you.
you for having me.
You are welcome. I just wanted to sit down and have a little chit chat with you. You're my go to person that I can talk to.
Hmm.
And life has felt a little heavy for me lately. The childhood trauma, it just seems like it won't go away, it won't leave my mind, and it's getting heavy. What thoughts or inputs do you have to help me deal with this and get through this? I trust your advice and your wisdom as a woman and your story.
Well, we all have childhood traumas. I went through a whole lot coming up. I felt like I wasn't cared for. Not only I had a weight problem. I was the lightest of the family, so they talked and did me bad. And then the most trying thing, which I had never wanted to tell anybody, but I love you and I want you to get through all this. I was mesmerized or molested, more or less, by my father. I was around 5.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my world, in which it did tumble. Too scared to go to mom, too scared to think that really did happen. Started blocking stuff out of my mind and acting like it's nothing. That's not what's true. Then I was in a fairy tale world with my dolls, showing them love that I wasn't getting, talking to my dolls like that was what I wanted from my family. But one thing that I have learned lately after a little going to rehab and going to talk about it with another psychologist to tell me how I should get with copes and stuff. I feel like the best thing I could have done for myself was to give it to God, to ask Him to hold me,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where I get my strength mostly. Is knowing that God's got me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do understand when some young women or even older women like me been through such a trying trauma. It's nothing more horrible than the thought of a father hurting his baby.
Yeah.
And it's okay now. It still hurts. I
Mm-hmm.
still don't know what it's like to love a father,
Mm-hmm.
but I forgive him. But I would never, even to my grave, forget
Mm-hmm.
what he did
What he
to me
did. Yeah, he did.
and how it affected me.
Well, let me ask you this. Sometimes I often feel like I pray to God, but He doesn't hear me. Have you ever been in a situation where you're feeling like you're praying and God is just not hearing you? Like, did He forget about you? Sometimes I feel like He forgot about me.
He never forgets you. The thing of it is, our time is not God time. Sometimes he just don't move fast enough for us. It's just like a relationship. You want a good person in your life. You pray for somebody to understand and be there, and it haven't happened. Even for me right now, I'm lonesome. I've been praying for a mate, somebody to just spend time with, laugh, have good times with, and it hasn't happened.
Okay, go ahead.
So, anyway, that's how things happen. We
Mm-hmm.
just have to know that somewhere somebody's going through, but they love us, you know. Even if they don't know you, they can love you because they can relate to where you are. But I want you to know you're not alone. You got me, you got God,
Yeah.
and all the women out there that's scared to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You brought it out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where it starts. Opening, thinking, and being positive that you will get better. And you will. It's not easy.
It's definitely not easy. It's definitely a journey that I'm learning that I have to work on it every day. It's not something that just instantly or automatically goes away. But you know, what were some of the strategies and things that you used to help you get through when you were having bad days, when you were having days to where sometimes you just don't want to get out in the public. You just want to sit to yourself and sit with yourself, and it just feels like you just
Well, your Annie is fast. I'm a fast Annie. Okay, I
okay.
enjoy dancing.
Mhm.
I enjoy singing. And music is my thing, you know
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
when I'm really down,
Mhm.
I put on music and it kind of relaxes my mind and whatever.
Okay.
And then I also, uh, I guess, mostly I just have a quiet time with God.
Mm.
And I just, you're not supposed to question God. They say you're not supposed to say why. But He already know what you're thinking because
Mhm.
He knows everything. So I do sometimes
You
get
know,
angry.
and that's something that I struggle with because I just feel like, times have changed, and in y'all's era, that's what you all were taught, that you're not supposed to question God. But I feel like if you don't question God, if you don't ask God to have conversations, how are you gonna know? I'm not saying that questioning his timing, but I do feel like that I do need to have a conversation with God. So if I can't have a conversation with God, how am I not supposed to question him?
But you can. You can tell Him what's on your mind.
Mhm.
You can tell Him you're angry. You can ask Him what's taking so long and ask Him, have you forgot me? But all these Christians is not trusting and believing in Him
Right.
because we're the weaker people, the
Mhm.
weaker vessel even. We know that everything that we want, it don't come as fast as we want. We're
Okay.
very, people are impatient, especially women.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
know I am.
Yes. Yes.
And it's still been a struggle. Just think, I'm going on 70,
Mhm.
and I still haven't got the answers that I want. I'm learning to
Okay.
deal,
Okay.
but I'm
Okay. Okay.
still growing
Yes.
within myself, in my surroundings, and then facing the rough thought,
Mhm.
facing me and loving me.
Mhm.
So that's where you have to do love yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the key.
Yeah. And in the midst of me learning to love myself, I feel like there were certain people, places, and things that I had to cut out that just no longer serve me. And since releasing and letting those things, people go, I used to seek validation. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to feel like, I walk in a room and I compare myself to everyone, but I don't know if it's something about turning 50 or just something about life itself
So,
that I am the energy in the room. Well, I don't have to compare myself to people in the room. I'm me. I'm uniquely me, who I am. And then just dealing with hair loss, it was like it was so much. It
over
was
and
just
over.
like over and over
Well,
again.
hair loss, Dina. I was beat and raped also in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost every strand of my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went through a stroke and have alopecia now. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not the only one without hair.
Mm-hmm.
We think we're lost by ourselves, but you're not. And anyway, you're cute. Nobody can say anything about that hair. And
Right.
everybody can't,
Mm-hmm.
be confident in themselves. And when I get with you, all my madness go away. When I'm with you, I feel like there's another day coming.
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, I feel loved by you.
Yeah.
And there goes that piece that you missing, wanting to feel love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know I do. And my little grandson,
My
that little
Cash.
Cash,
I love
he
me some
loved you
Cash.
dearly.
I love
So, but
Cash.
truthfully, you're just you're very intelligent. you're very smart, and you're very worldly. Do not let the devil or people get into you to make you feel worse than we already feel.
Yeah.
Because, you know, before I lost some weight, I was weighing close to, I was.
Dang, Auntie, I
400
just
pounds.
put these eyelashes on, and now you about to make me cry them off. Okay, let me get it together. Okay,
But
okay,
you're fine.
okay.
But truthfully, when you think back on yourself, and you know, like when I got so angry and growing up, I guess I felt food was my comfort. And I didn't realize I was gaining all that weight.
We have different vices to help us get through. Some people use drugs, alcohol, food, sex.
And I think mine was food and looking for the right man when I got older. The whole me, treat me sexually, like you said, and picking wrong partners. But then when you finally stop and think for yourself that a better day is coming, you let all that go. And you say, I know I'm better than this. And you have to say it. And I get up every morning, and now, after reading one of your books, I count to 5. I take a deep breath. I can look in the mirror and say, you're a beautiful woman for your age. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Yes.
And you are beautiful.
Yes.
So now, not only do I have Mary J. Blige song saying beautiful, I can say it to myself. So that's what I'm saying. We have to, as women, talk about it. And if there's any young women that you know of, or they feel like they're hurting, they can always talk to us. Talk to me, especially, because you know I'm a people person. And after teaching school even for 30 years, I saw the hurt in so many children. I saw so many kids that was not only hungry, didn't have clothes, come to school with body odors and different things. They weren't being loved in their way either. And then at the same time, I would ask myself, have any of these kids been through what I went through?
I'm sure that some of them have.
You know, and I would have to, you know, have that extra love for them. And one thing I did when I first started school with kids, I had a big circle on the floor. And we all got in the circle, white, black, Chinese, whatever. And I told them, there is 3 things in my class I will not put up with. Putting someone down because of skin color, because people can't help what color they are. Talking about people's size, and I used to always point to myself, look at me. I'm not a little skinny woman, probably like your mom's, but I'm a happy one and I love y'all. And I said, we have to teach kids also from very age, if we can get them to love themselves. So I'm just saying, love come in all shapes, forms, colors, and sizes. But one thing that never will go away, the love you have for yourself.
And that within itself is learning to love myself. I can finally say that I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to love that hurt little girl that mama left, daddy left, that, like you said, I can remember being a school-age kid, there was no one there to help me do my homework. No one made me sit at the table to do homework. And I always loved books. I always wanted to read. I love books. And you know, growing up in a family on the east side of Oklahoma City, when I was asked to go to a bookstore or a library, they would tell me, oh, that's white people shit. We not doing that, you know? And now, as an adult, just reminiscing, looking back on all of that.
They were crippling you more.
Yes, they were. And, you know, now when you bring it up, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to have that conversation. They want to sweep it under the rug. They want to continue the tradition of a child is to be seen and not heard. But one day that child is going to grow up to be an adult. And that's going to be free to speak their mind. And, you know, my family don't even talk to me because I spoke my mind. I I told of all the hurt and the pain, and they made me feel like I was the problem. I was a kid. I didn't have nobody to protect me. So how am I the problem now that I'm speaking? Because what? Y'all want to keep it hidden? Y'all don't believe it was your dad, your brother, uh, that could do something like that? Yes, it was.
And you know, back when I was growing up, in our time, you never talk about nothing that was negative. They didn't even tell you when you start your cycle what to do. I didn't know.
Mhm.
And I know that I wanted to tell my mom, but I kept saying to myself, I know she have to know that he's hurt me. Why don't she say something? And I said, I don't want her not to love me. So I wouldn't talk to her about it. And it was when I was 25 years old and we were having a family reunion that I blurted it out because he said something so horrible to me in front of my sisters and brothers. And that's when I told him, you cannot hurt me anymore. You did that when I was a child. And everybody said, what are you talking about? I said, ask your father. And I still didn't come out and say he had touched me. He had, I still to this day can't get to the point to see him sexually in me. But I know it happened because I went and had, I was blocking down, so they did the, giving me the stuff to make me remember, self-conscious action.
Okay.
And so I went through it. But you know that things will be better.